Varon gets win number 61 out at the Track of Champions. Stewie picks up a win down in Orange County on Nostalgia Night. We go in the pits with an up-and-coming sportsman driver at the Track of Champions.
Now look at Mikey giggle. He can't contain himself down there.
Really? Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. With Stuart Friesen on the road at the Orange County Fair Speedway this weekend, would it mean a couple of veterans will try to find their way back into victory lane? Let's head to the Track of Champions now on our opening highlight brought to you by Landho Maintenance. We start you off with some pro stock action, and what a battle this was as Chucky Nobluski working around the outside at Cassidy Wilson, but it would be Wilson off of turn number 4 holding on for the race lead, his first career win in pro stock action at the Fonda Speedway. To the modifieds now as Cody Blue in the 73 would lead the field up into turn number 1 and 2 and be your early race leader in this feature event. Demetrius Trellis in the 85 working his way up on the outside lane, headed into turn number 3 as they battle for position. Josh Owenforth trying to rebound off of a great run a week ago, gets by Sean Pangman trying to work his way up through the field. Rocky Warner in there as well, working his way up into the top 5 as he would slink by the 34 machine. Meanwhile, we'd have a new race leader off the corner as Craig Hansen would get by Cody Blue on the outside lane to take the number 1 spot away, and Josh Hohenforce would look to do the same thing down into turn number 3 and 4. Then it would be Hohenforce looking to size up the 20 machine down into turn number 3 and 4, and this is what we call the Cow Palace slide job, right in front of the Cow Palace, up off the corner to take the race lead away. Bobby Varon going to go textbook style on a slide job in front of Craig Hansen and take the number 2 spot away from him as Rocky Warner looks to work past Cody Blue down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4 as well. As those two battle for position, here's Tim Fuller working his way up into the top 5, looking to make it stick as the caution will come out for the 49 of Kenny Sparks, and that's when Bobby Varon would strike, working down and winning the drag race to get past the Apollo Northeast car number 6 H.O. Hohenforce. Hohenforce tried to battle back, but he'd have to contend with the 19 of Tim Fuller up on the inside lane as Fuller would work into that number 2 spot to try to chase down Varon. Jeremy Wilder trying to make a late race charge to get up with the heavy hitters as the 19 of Fuller trying to take one shot at Varon. But you've seen this before. Get your watches out. It's Varon time as he picks up career win number 61 at the Track of Champions. Fuller would come home second. Josh Hohenforce would finish in third. Rocky Warner fourth, and Jeremy Wilder would finish in fifth. Other winners on the night out at the Track of Champions, Mark Mortensen grabbing the win in the Sportsman. Pro Stocks, as you saw, going to Cassidy Wilson. Street Stocks to Jason Samroff. And Derek McGrew Jr. grabbing the win in the Limited Sportsman. Down to the hard clay for the first time in 2018. And, there's Stewie. He's going to get by 1 in the heat race. He's going to get by 2 in the heat race. He's going to get by 3 in the heat race. Yeah, he might be a force to be reckoned with later. Green flag out on the speedway. Matt Janiak going to take the early lead in the Hallmark International car number 17 J Machine, rolling it up through turn number 1 and 2. Anthony Perego trying to make his way down the back straightaway. Tommy Lyer in there as well as a number of cars trying to fight their way up through the field early as Janiak would be the early race leader with Crummell moving into the number 2 spot, and there's Stuart Friesen moving into spot number 3 trying to chase down that Brian Crummell entry. Field would get together down the back straightaway as Perego would go around. He'd have to go to the rear after a little bit of damage. And off the restart, Crummell going to try to make a move on the inside lane as the field shuffles in behind him up into turn number 1 and 2. Crummell would make the move down on the inside as BK Speed would go to the front, taking the lead down into turn number 3 and 4. And hey, Matt, here's Stewie. He's working it up on the outside, seeing a little daylight. And you know when the 44 gets that, he's going. He would make his move on the inside lane now, going side by side with Crummell into turn number 3 and 4. As they come down off the corner, he'd switch to the outside, and to quote Tim Pitts, oh, baby, baby, Stuart Friesen going to the front as he'd work his way up through turn number 1 and 2. A few cars trying to work their way through as Chris Whitehead now moving into the number 3 spot, getting by Ferrier for position as he would look to set his sights on Crummell as well up through turn number 1 and 2 as Whitehead continued to close the gap on him down the backstretch. Perego trying to make a furious push toward the rest of the field as he would try to work his way back up from the early race woes, but it's another 44 that gets it done as you can make the check payable to Stewie Friesen. Crummell would finish in second, Whitehead would come home third, Higbee would finish in fourth, and John Ferrier would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Sportsman would go to Jesse Levy, and Jim Mayer would pick up the win in the Street Stocks.
Of the free In the home of the
Now that's a rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. We move to the 30-lap modified feature event as Elmo Reckner would take the number 1 spot in the early going. Brett Hearn and Kenny Tremont trying to fight their way up to the field along with the man who currently sits second in points, the 2RJ of Ronnie Johnson. But it was Eddie Marshall on the move early as he worked past the number 34 as Steve Huff on lap number 8 to get the runner-up spot as the caution will come out as LJ Lombardo would have to work his way down pit road for a right front flat. Off the restart, it would be Reckner taking control once again as Steve Huff making it difficult for the 98 machine to get by him. But Marshall with the KG veteran skill working it down on the inside. He would look to take the number 2 spot away and does. Huff would not go away, though, as he took a look-see up on the top side to see if he can get by Reckner. But then it wouldn't be long before Marshall's going to get not one, but both as Eddie Marshall goes to the front in that Marshall Oil Company car number 98 machine. Steve Huff and the 17 of Reckner still battling for the number 2 spot as Huff will get ahead of steam down the front straightaway to take that position away. Brett Hearn, meanwhile, working right behind them, looking to take the number 3 spot away as they file down the front straightaway for another spot as Hearn continues to pad his point lead. Ronnie Johnson trying to work his way up through the field. He's been strong and consistent so far in the 2018 season out at the Lebanon Valley Speedway, but it would be Hearn taking the number 2 spot away from Huff as he would pick up a couple more points toward the championship standings as Hearn really trying to push his way to get to the 98 of Eddie Marshall, but Marshall way ahead of the field as he picks up a much-needed victory for the Ridgefield, Connecticut camp. The Jet would settle for second. Steve Huff would finish third. J.R. Hefner would come home in spot number 4. And rounding out your top 5 would be the 60 of Brian Berger. It's now time for this week's John Ray and Sons fan poll question, which is, with the tribute coming up Tuesday night at Albany, Saratoga, who do you like more, Super CD or Jumpin' Jack? Head to our Facebook page at facebook.com/RaceProWeekly to cast your answers. Let's take a look at the results from last week's fan poll question, which was, which do you prefer, the Empire Super Sprints or the Patriot Sprint Tour? Well, 50% of you said both, which is always a good thing. 39% of you went with the Empire Super Sprints, and 11% prefer the Patriot Sprints. Coming up here on Race Pro Weekly, we take a look at some Patriot Sprint Tour action out at the Fulton Speedway, and we'll see what happened out at the Can-Am Speedway, where we got our first 2-time winner.
You know, Mother Nature makes the best products, and Ghent Wood Products in Columbia County has figured out the secret. We use locally harvested trees, milled and kiln-dried right on site in Ghent. We stock rough-cut lumber, green or kiln-dried. If you prefer finished products, we offer that too, including shiplap, flooring, paneling, exterior siding, and tabletops. Come check out the reclaimed mushroom wood and barnwood siding. We combine the mill experience with a retail store, so you can go straight to the mill and handpick the wood you want.
There's only one place in the Capital Region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there.
Hi, I'm Eric Pope, General Manager of John Ray & Sons. We're proud to be offering Bryant heating and air conditioning systems. Just like us, Bryant has been delivering home comfort solutions for more than a century.
Call today for a free consultation and save up to $875 with Bryant bonus rebates.
I'm Michael Laporte, Service Manager. From sales to service, our goal is to keep you comfortable, whatever it takes. Ductless AC is a perfect solution for homes without ductwork, new additions, or anywhere you need cool relief.
Call or visit johnray.com today.
Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly, small block modified action here at the Can-Am Speedway as Luke Stewart would take the early race lead up into turn number 1 and 2 as the cars would scatter and a great battle going on as here's Danny O'Brien looking to make it back-to-back on the outside lane, working their way up to the field along with Ryan Arbonat, Jordan McCready, and Billy Dunn down the back straightaway. Field will continue to work his way up as here comes the 17 of O'Brien getting by Ryan Bartlett up on the inside lane. Give him a little hip check going into turn number 1 and 2 and take that spot away as they continue to work it down off the corner. Arbonat going to get by Bartlett as well, and Billy Dunn looking to follow on the outside lane. O'Brien would pick another one off, and he was continue to work his way up through the field as Scott Webb and Luke Stewart continue to sit out in the number 1 and 2 spots. As Webb trying to work his way through on the inside lane, he would eventually get there as they power down into turn number 3 and 4. He would get by Stewart for that number 1 spot. Stewart wouldn't have too much time to sit back, though, as you'll see in a second, as Billy Dunn and Argonaut still trying to work their way up through the field. And I mentioned it before because here comes Danny O'Brien. O'Brien working to the inside as Stewart looking to take the runner-up spot away up off of turn number 2. He does get by him, no problem. Then the caution will come out for Riley Gill, and this sets up a double file restart where it would be the 17 of O'Brien winning the drag race down into turn number 1 and 2. But Billy Dunn comes out of nowhere up on the outside lane to look to take the race lead away with some great momentum. He take another shot at him up off by turn number 3 and 4, but O'Brien strong to the challenge, staying in the middle of the racetrack. Jordan McCready still trying to work his way up into the top 5. He was a feature event winner a couple of weeks ago out at Can-Am, but not tonight, as it would be the 17 of O'Brien picking up win number 2 on the season. Second would be Billy Dunn. Scott Webb would finish in 3rd, Ryan Argonaut 4th, and Jordan McCready would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night out at Can-Am, Dave Rogers in the Sportsman. Pro Street Stocks going to Sean Kirby. Thunder Stocks to Joe Orvis. And I like this name, Rookie Sportsman going to Kevin Warren. The Patriot Sprint Tour making a return to the show as they were at the Fulton Speedway this past Saturday night, and it would be Danny Peebles leading the field to the green down the front straightaway to see who would win the A-Main down on the high banks of the Fulton Speedway. They roll it up down the back straightaway as cars on the move. Dylan Westbrook on the inside as Jordan Thomas makes his move up into the number 2 position. Then he would battle for the race lead with Peebles down into turn number 3 and 4 as the 79 would dance off the cushion and take the race lead away here in the early portion of this event. Peebles would try to battle back on the inside, but just couldn't do it. But here's Dylan Westbrook now on the inside. Brian Howland in there for 3rd as well as Westbrook takes the lead, but Thomas going to cross right back over on the back straightaway and take the number 1 spot back. Howland working on Westbrook for 2nd as Westbrook gets a little momentum to pull on the outside of the 79 machine. He takes the lead right back from him, but Jordan Thomas looking to battle right back, pushing down on the inside lane, but can't get it as Westbrook still holding on. Eventually, he'd get a run up off by turn number 2, Thomas that is, and take the lead back from the 47 machine as they dealt through lap traffic, coming to the checkered flag, and it would be Jordan Thomas picking up a big victory out at Fulton. There's Thomas up on the roof doing the dance. Of course, we saw him in the Into Pit segment a week ago, and he would be your victor. Westbrook would have to settle for 2nd. Brian Hallam would finish in 3rd, Mitch Brown 4th, and Jeff Trombley would finish in 5th. To the Ulster County Bull Ring we go down in Accord as it would be Kyle Van Duzer leading the field to the green in what would be a wild one down at Accord in the early going. A number of cars trying to fight their way up to the field. Look at this move by Iron Mike Rickey. Going to split the middle and take another couple spots down the front stretch as Van Duzer would continue to lead this one with Rich Rickey Jr. holding on to spot number 2 as the caution will come out for Showtime Danny Tyler down in turn number 4. Off the restart, things would continue as Danny Creighton going to go around in turn number 4. A tough break for the driver, the 5L. That would reset things as Van Duzer would once again set control as now Marks would take the number 3 spot down the back straightaway. Jesse Marks doing a great job. Jimmy Wells up to spot number 4, getting by Perego for position. They fight 3 wide, trying to get to the number 3 spot. And keep an eye on this battle as Wells works to the inside of Marks, trying to take the spot away. Higbee trying to get by Perego on the inside lane, trying to battle for a top 5 spot. Rich Rickey Jr. working it down on the inside, trying to run down Van Duzer for position as Marks continues to hold off Wells behind them. A couple of great 2-car battles on the speedway as Rich Rickey trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Van Duzer down off the corner. Richard Smith trying to work his way up a couple of positions down into turn number 3 and 4, but back to the battle for 3rd as Jam and Jimmy Wells working it down on the inside, trying to hold off Marks. Couldn't do it that time. Meanwhile, the 85 of Van Duzer still trying to hold off the 406 of Rich Rickey Jr., and Rich Rickey Jr. knows how to get it done here at the Speedway. Takes another shot on the inside lane, but Van Duzer just too strong. Gets it even deeper that time up off of turn number 4, but Van Duzer once again strong to the challenge. One more time, even deeper, but Van Duzer gonna hold on to this one as he picks up the win. Second would be Rich Rickey in a hard-fought battle. Jimmy Wells would finish in 3rd, Jerry Higbee 4th, and Anthony Perego would round out the top 5. Other winners on the night, Kyle Roner would grab the win in the Sportsman. Rookie Sportsman to Joseph Coppola. Jeremy Quick would pick up the win in the Wingless Sprints. Pure Stocks to Emerson Cargan Jr., and Steve Williams would win the Held Over Pure Stock feature. Held Over Sportsman feature from May 4th, the Albany Saratoga Speedway, as it would be Joey Scarborough leading the field up into turn number 1 and 2. One half of the Brandon Banditos with the early lead. Daryl Nutting moving into 2nd. Here's Chris Johnson looking to make a move on the inside. And watch Dave Constantino up on the top, looking to make things happen early. Connor Cleveland will get by the aforementioned Constantino down the back straightaway as the cars will continue to roll. We had a battle for 2nd early in this one as Andrew Buff working the top side to his advantage. Keep an eye on that as the caution will come out for Adam McAuliffe, Nick Lucier, and Mike Ostrander. Off the restart, I told you about the outside. There's Andrew Buff taking the lead up off by turn number 2. He'd be your new race leader, and he would start to pull away from the driver of the number 24 machine in Scarborough. Cars trying to work their way up, including last week's winner, Tim Hartman Jr., trying to make his move up the racetrack on the outside lane. As Nutting now trying to go for the number 2 spot. Chris Johnson working his way into the top 5, and then you'd see Connor Cleveland getting past Jeremy Pitts. He'd work his way into the 5th spot, now up off of turn number 3 and 4. The heavy hitters were on the rise in this one as Cleveland would get by Chris Johnson. There's Adam Pierce from the 1-800 Junk car number 15, working his way down on the inside, trying to get by Pitts. The Donnelly Construction Incorporated team working down the back straightaway. Mike Coffey there with Jack Spieshak trying to get by Chad Edwards. Meanwhile, a little bit of trouble in lap traffic as here comes Andrew Buff trying to work his way through. He'd get by Mike Perotti and Jason Rayom. Battle for second still heating up as Scarborough and Nutting would go at it, but it would be Buff that takes home the win. And then we go to some heat race action. Nick Lucier gets let out of shape, hits Floyd Billington, goes up and over multiple times. He would be okay. Floyd Billington would also be okay. As you see Lucier now heading for the ride back in the pits. And then shortly after that, the rains came, as the only feature to get in would be that first Sportsman feature that you saw before. The top 5 in that going back, it would be Buff picking up the win, Scarborough finishing in 2nd, the Ninja, Daryl Nutting, coming home 3rd, Connor Cleveland 4th, and Chris Johnson finishing 5th. When we come back here on RPW, we head back to the Green Mountain State for some interesting action in the Sportsman Modifieds. Then we'll go for the first time out to Glen Ridge Motorsports Park. Keep it locked right here on RPW. Reputable, reliable, results. That's what you get when you call Rick and the professionals at RCT Roofing. Quality service at fair prices. RCT gets the job done. Just like Nick Stone and the RCT Pro Stock. RCT Roofing, we've got you covered.
Spring is finally here and the temperatures are rising and the deals are hotter than ever. Hi, I'm Charlie Morris of Morris Ford in Burnt Hills. You have to come in for the hottest cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market today here at Morris Ford, all with leading technology and advanced safety. With thousands off and low payments, there's never been a better time to buy a new Ford. So come in to Morris Ford and let us show you why we've been selling cars in the Capital District for over 46 years.
Our Morris will always be number 1.
Courage at the mile. What part did courage play in this victory?
Mike Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxaw, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how it got up on the center track.
Tell you what, there was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Always a good day when the kids get the chance to have some fun on the bikes. And oh God, they gave Justin St. Louis a flag. They gave Andy a flag too. Announcers and flagging don't go together. We've already seen this. But take a look at this battle. A few older kiddies going to work down the front straightaway. And this was a good drag race. And it's the wheels. I know Randy Miller may not agree with me, but it was the wheels in this one. Sportsman Modified feature event, Josh Sun and Kenny Tremont on the front row. Where have I seen this before? As they go up into turn number 1 and 2, it would be Sun taking the advantage. Timmy LeDuc going to try to make a move on the inside of turn number 3 as the Orwell, Vermont native trying to get past the 115 of Tremont, but Tremont holding strong in that number 2 spot, holding on to the position as he would look to chase down the 11 and Josh Sun, something he's gotten used to in the past couple weeks, seeing that back bumper. The 11 machine would continue to hold him off, but Tremont, the KG veteran he is in that SNS asphalt paving entry, rolling right on the back bumper, about 3 car lengths separating first and second. Tremont with a shot to the inside, but the 11 going to shut the door as they work up off the corner. Joey Scarborough and Connor Cleveland racing for position down the back straightaway as they continue to roll up through turn number 3 and 4. Back to the battle for the lead, though. Here's the 115 to Tremont on the inside. He's got Sun right next to him. They drag race almost touching a lap car down into turn number 3 and 4. And here comes the 11 of Sun, using Justin Combs as a pick up through turn number 1 and 2 to keep the race lead away. But lap traffic, the ultimate equalizer, opens the door for the 115 of Tremont with just 9 laps to go. And good night, it's over with. That's all she wrote. Tremont, once again, victory lane at Devil's Bowl as he picks up the win out in the Green Mountain State. Second would be Josh Sun. Tim LeDuc would finish in third. Adam Pearson fourth, and Kevin Chafee would finish in fifth. Other winners on the night, Paolo Pasquarella grabbing the win in the Limited Sportsman. Super Stocks going to Bill Dupree. Jason Porter in the Mini Stocks, and the Mini Sprints would go to Colby Ben-Hare. To the Fulton Speedway we go with some novice sportsman action, and, well, yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Up in turn number 3, Chris Banowski would pick up the win in that feature event. We move to the small block modified feature, where it would be Larry Welling and Phil Vigneri bringing the field to the green. Cars trying to push their way up through the field, and the car on the move early was the 42 of the Genoa Giant, Pat Ward. He would work up on the top side with a nasty push in the early going, but still had the momentum off the corner to get by Bobby Harrington for that number 2 spot. He then sent his sights on the number 21 of Welling up through turn number 2, try to make it stick off the corner. He would nose out ahead down the back straightaway, but he would again develop that push into turn number 3 and 4. Welling would try to come back, but it would be Ward holding on to the race lead. Fast forward a bit, here comes Larry White looking it up on the outside lane, trying to take that number 1 spot away, and he does down the straightaway. But this would be the definition of a gypsum sandwich down the back straightaway, and that's where the Genoa Giant will get the number 1 spot back from him, rolling off by turn number 3 and 4, as Pat Ward picks up his first win of the season out at Fulton. Second would be Tim Sears Jr. Larry White would hold on for third, Mike Bowman fourth, and Bobby Harrington would finish in fifth. Wade Crispin would grab the win in Sportsman number 1, Alan Fink in Sportsman number 2. Late models going to Kevin Cook, and Chris Banowski would pick up the win in the Novice Sportsman. We head to the Ridge for the first time in 2018 as Devin Kamajay gets a little too high. That allows the 8 of Ivan Joslin to sneak by on the inside lane as he would pick up the win out at the Ridge in the Pro Stock action. To the Sportsman feature event we go. Jim Introne and Joe Orlando would look to lead the field to the green as they roll them up into turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. Here's Andrew Buff looking to work his way on the inside, trying to get by the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. as Hartman fights for that number 2 spot. Meanwhile, Chris Curtis continuing to work it down the back straightaway with that number 7 machine sitting there. Michael Sabia trying to work his way up as well as Hartman continues to push to the inside of Orlando for position. He would take the spot away and try to set his sights on Jim Introne. Dave Constantino working it down on the inside lane. He get by the 818 for position up off of turn number 2 as they roll down the backstretch. Into 3 and 4 they go. He get by Andrew Buff as well and look to set his sights on the top 2. Meanwhile, as the 22 of Hartman starts to give chase on the 9X of Introne, Constantino going to follow him right on the back bumper and then stick up on the outside as here comes the West End towing. Car number 7 machine. He's going to go side by side with the 9 machine off of turn number 4. They touch, but it would be Constantino taking the race lead away down the front stretch. He keep the lead down up into turn number 1 and 2. Hartman would get by him as Introne gets caught up in a rut and then makes contact with Chris Curtis coming down the front straightaway. They go up into the turn 1 wall. Dubois with nowhere to go in between turn number 1 and 2 as that would bring out the yellow flag. Constantino, that's all he needs as he pick up another win at Glen Ridge Motorsports Park. Second would be Tim Hartman Jr. Kevin Ward would finish in third. Joe Orlando fourth, and Colin Dubois would finish in fifth. Other winners on the night, Pro Stocks would go to Ivan Joslin. Bill August picking up the win in the Limited Sportsman. Steve Kosselman picking up the win in the Street Stocks as well, along with Robert Garney grabbing the win with the 4-cylinder single cam. Andy Graves in the dual cam. Bryce Churko in the senior slingshots. Junior slingshots going to Matthew Backus. Coming up on Race Pro Weekly, we'll tell you who won the Andrew Sherman Memorial Cup for the Sportsman out on the High Banks. And we'll head in the pits with one of the Sportsman drivers at the Fonda Speedway. It's all right here on RPW. Performance, quality, service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts, competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products. Race to win.
from 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is my main man, Tom, and my other main man, Tom.
You never know how much junk you've got until you move.
Point to something you wish would disappear.
Would it be possible to... It's gone!
All you have to do is point.
Where have you been all my life?
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
If you are a tracker series that would like to be highlighted on Race Pro Weekly, email us at show@raceproweekly.com. Welcome back to Race Pro Weekly. Pro Stock action as Doug Old gets up hard into the turn 2 wall. Final lap off the corner. Steve LaRochelle trying to win the drag race with John Ruthier down the front straightaway, and it would be the 178 taking home the win. To the Andrew Sherman Memorial Cup for the Sportsman Division now is Michael Sabia making a quick move. The bonsai past 2 drivers up off by turn number 3 and 4. And boy, were they jockey in 4th position up off by turn number 3 and 4 this time, coming down the front stretch, trying to work their way up for the $2,000 prize. It would be the 7 of Sabia trying to get by the 16 of Nicky Olette down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and 4. He's looking to set his sights on John Virgilio here in the early going. Chris Lynch, the defending winner of this event, trying to work his way up through the field. And Olette having a little bit of trouble up off at turn number 4. Something goes away on the 16 machine, and she would come to a stop just past the pit entrance on the back straightaway at the Valley. Off the restart, it would be Virgilio there again with Michael Sabia looking to give chase up into turn number 1 and 2. Meanwhile, a number of heavy hitters trying to work their way up through the field. Rob Maxon in there, Peter Carlotto, Chris Lynch in there as well. And then it would be the 96 of Maxon getting into the 98 award up in turn number 2. Chris Lynch going around, and that would seriously hurt the 74's bid to try to go back-to-back. Harold Robitaille also with trouble. Off the restart, Virgilio would take control of this one once again with about a 4-car length lead on Sabia, working it through turn number 1 and 2. Chris Curtis in there trying to hold off Ted Teal and the 98 of Kevin Ward, but it would be Virgilio going on to win the Andrew Sherman Memorial Cup for the second time in his career. Second would be Sabia as he would hold on for the position. Slavin would finish in 3rd, Peter Carlotto 4th, and Chris Curtis would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night, small block modified, surprisingly for the first time to the 115 at Kenny Tremont. Pro Stocks, as you saw, go to Steve LaRochelle, Kevin Paul with the win in the Pure Stocks, and Ray Hall Sr. with the win in Pure Stock number 2. The Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints rolling into the Cornwall Speedway up into this past Sunday night, and it would be racing Jason Barney and Coleman Gulick leading the field to the green. You may want to get used to that as they roll them up into turn number 1 and 2. Steve Poirier, the fireball, trying to work up on the outside lane as Mike Mahaney goes after the 10 of Paulie Giovanni up off at turn number 4. They'd fight their way back for position. Dylan Westbrook trying to work his way up through the field as well as they battle through turn number 3 and 4 as Westbrook going around up on the outside of corner number 4 as that would bring out the yellow. Off the restart, Giovanni and Mahaney continue their battle for position as Mike Mahaney would take that spot away, moving into spot number 3. Then it would be the 87 machine of Barney now feeling pressure, and I mean heavy pressure, from the 14 of Coleman Gulick up on the outside lane as he would dance off the cushion to try to take the spot away. They battle on lap traffic now as Gulick would take the race lead down the back straightaway as they battle into turn number 3 and 4. Barney would get him right back, though, in lap traffic and continue to hold up on the outside lane and get out by about 8 car lengths down the back straightaway. As this happens, the 33 and the 28, that's Mahaney and Poirier going at it down the backstretch as the fireball looks to make a move to get by the 33 machine off the corner. Couldn't get him that time as Mahaney would hold on to the spot. Caution would come out with just 1 lap to go for the 14 of Brett Wright, and this sets up a 1-lap shootout as Coleman Gulick, one last shot on the inside lane to try to get by Barney, but Barney would be too strong as he picks up his second win of the 2018 season on the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprint Tour. Second would be Gulick, who is currently the point leader. Mike Mahaney would finish in 3rd, Poirier 4th, and Coley Giovanni would round out the top 5. For the past few years, Nick Scavia has been an up-and-coming sportsman competitor out at the Fonda Speedway. With already 2 wins on the 2018 season, a lot more is coming for the young gun. Our own Fast Eddie caught up with him in the pits.
Nick, we come into tonight, you're the point leader, you have 2 wins on the season. Season's going pretty good so far.
Yeah, we've been pretty fast. I had win opening night, and then
the second week out, we bent the front end a little bit and fell back to third, trying to pass for the lead. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way the car's handling so far. We're making a lot of moves and we're doing a lot of things that other people aren't out on the track. So that makes me happy to know that I'm kind of an outcast as far as the moves that we're making. So I couldn't be happier with the way the car's handling so far.
Now taking a look at the points, this is the start of your 4th season. You haven't finished out of the top 10 in sportsman points. That's got to make you feel confident coming into the season.
Yeah, it's the first year out was we're feeling the car out and everything, and I was feeling basically myself out. We did all right, and then the second year out, we struggled a little bit trying to find out what I liked and what the car liked. And last year we really kind of hit it on the head about halfway through the season. We found the setup that works well for me and works well for the car. And ever since then we've been doing the small adjustments on it. We didn't finish out of the top 10, other than 2 races that I didn't finish. But last year we didn't finish out of the top 10 all year, and we brought 5th in points home. And this year, with the way this car is going, I feel like we have a real decent shot at winning championship.
Now tell the folks how you got your start in racing and what made you get behind the wheel of a sportsman car.
Well, ever since I can remember, my father and David Towns are very good friends. David was pretty good back when he was behind the wheel. So I've always been in David's garage. I remember growing up in David's garage. It's kind of sparked a passion for me. Racing's always been something that I enjoyed watching, and I think I was 7 years old. I got behind the wheel of a go-kart at Kroger Creek Raceway, and that's really when it kind of came together. We realized that I wasn't a slouch, and we started traveling all over the place, and we did very well everywhere we went. I think we had 8 championships in the go-karts, and won an asphalt race here and there. But then Dave Towns, being as close as he is to us, kind of convinced us to get after it, and he kind of tried to get us into it, and then kind of told us not to get into it. So it's just something I've always wanted to do, and even with him telling me not to, I just kind of said whatever, I'm going to do it anyway, and here we are.
Where would you like to go career path-wise? What are you looking to do? Move up in the dirt ranks or anything else?
I would really like to be running the 358, running the short track Super Series. I think that'd be a blast. But as of right now, I'm still getting my feet out, underneath me. I'd love to race for as long as I possibly can, but you never know what's going to happen. So I guess I'll plan for the best, and hopefully we'll stick with it, for a while. But like I said before, you never know what's going to happen.
It's now time for this week's NISCA Performer of the Week, and with his back-to-back wins out at Can-Am, it goes to the Pocket Rocket, Danny O'Brien. O'Brien is now eligible for the Performer of the Year award given out at the end of the season. That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online at www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So for myself, Bobby Chalmers, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Amber Chalmers, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.